everybody, welcome to your tarot reading today. I'm Dreaming Angel Tarot and I'm glad you're here. Today I wanted to look at kind of, are you on the right path, or what's your highest path or potential, and what do you need to know about that? What's the situation right now? What are some things helping you, some things holding you back? Yeah, and then some messages from Spirit. So this is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, and pile 5. I decided to kind of do more piles because I wanted to do kind of a nuanced look at your individual situation and potential. So yeah, again, we're doing 5 piles today, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So today, this is what we're gonna look at. Are you on the right path? We're gonna look at you, your current energy, what your highest path is, what it looks like, the current relationship between you and your highest path. Where are you now? How far along are you? What's more about what the current energy is? We're going to take a look at some of your strengths or assets in this, and then some things that might hold you back. And then I wanted to ask, what's the feeling you will have when you are on your highest path? How do you know you're there? How is it going to feel emotionally? What are some clues maybe to know that you're on the right path? And then we're just going to close with some messages from Spirit. I want you to know that I shuffle these off camera just to save time, but I don't look at them. I haven't looked at these cards yet, and I am very careful when I shuffle them, and I create intention through that, like off camera. I don't know, I just watched a video one time, a tarot video online, and someone was saying that like their commenters were skeptical that they had actually like shuffled the cards, or like that somehow, I don't know, that they were like cheating or something somehow. I don't know if that's a thing that people worry about, but I don't do that. I haven't looked at these, and I've shuffled them and everything. I don't know. So I guess if that's ever a question about my readings, I just wanted you guys to know that. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna start with you and where you are at with your highest path. So the card I picked for you is the 4 of Swords. Your highest path is the 7 of Pentacles. And the relationship between is the Judgment card. Where are you on your path now? I picked, interesting, the 5 of Swords. And we're looking at the Hero's Journey Oracle. And you have the thin, thin veil. We'll look into that. For some strengths and assets along your journey, we have the Ace of Swords. What might be holding you back is the 8 of Pentacles. What's the feeling you will have when you're on your highest path or potential? We have the Queen of Swords. And then I'll get the message from Spirit at the end. Okay, just give me a second. I think that if you're wondering, sorry, I think if you're wondering what you're currently pursuing, if it is the right thing for you, there's a resounding answer here that yes, with the Judgment card, I think you are on the right path. But there's some kind of confusing, hold on just a second. Okay, there's kind of some confusing, deceptive energy around this, because this could be something that doesn't have clear inroads or is not super easy to navigate. And it also, your highest path or calling could also be something that is not necessarily going to be something that like attracts a lot of attention to you or that other people notice. There's something about your path that's like you're doing it because of your relationship with Spirit, and there's like a humble pursuit in it. You're following a calling that comes from your connection with God or with Spirit. And it's it's built on faith. It's a journey of faith, I think, and there's a humility to it. Your present energies with the Four of Swords, you do feel like somebody who's connected to Spirit, very much so. I'm getting this like Joan of Arc energy or something. It's like you get like messages or dreams or clues or something from the divine that you follow, and it's like things that only you can really decipher and understand. And you listen to that and you let that lead you. Your highest path may be one of service in some way, and it may be one in which you're planting seeds for generations to come. It's like someone who builds a church that takes years, and hundreds of years ago, when people would build cathedrals that they wouldn't even get to see the fruition of in their lifetime. I think your highest path is based on faith and based on building a legacy for the future. And it's in service to something bigger or beyond yourself, or to your community or to the world. And it's something where you're creating the foundation and you're setting it up for the future, and it could be that it's something that is built in your lifetime but isn't even, it lasts beyond you, and you may not even see all of it. But there's something about your faith here that you know that this is important, and you believe in it, and you have conviction. And so there's this sense of a lasting legacy that you believe in creating. You strike me as somebody who I guess what I'm thinking about now is, you know, a lot of us will talk about the way the world is, and we lament about suffering that people have to face. But not many people actually take action and make that their pursuit of trying to help others. And you strike me as someone who wants to make it your life's path to try to help and to try to make a difference. And you believe that that can happen. I think a lot of people sometimes don't try because they don't believe that a difference can be made, but I think you do, and that's what's special about you. You also have a quality of, it's not that you are totally doing this alone or going it alone, although it might feel like that. I think that you are actually kind of practical and grounded in this. And so you utilize the resources available to you in the right way and utilize the help of others. But like, there's something about this that it doesn't really matter to you if other people get it or not, or if they're on board or not. Like, you're kind of committed to it anyway. You're doing it. You don't have to like convince others or prove anything to others or get them on your side before you proceed. I think you're just doing this, and if people want to join in, that's great. If not, you know, whatever. But you don't need to convince yourself, and you don't need to convince anybody else. There's kind of a beautiful certainty about you, like I said, and a conviction and a commitment that really isn't affected that much by what's going on around you or what people say. You kind of shrug, like, they can have their opinions, whatever. I believe in what I'm doing, and I know that it's gonna pay off one day. This is like a kind of a paradox because it's a very spiritual energy, but I think it is very grounded in the real world also. And it could be that your highest path or the highest version of you is when you ground it in reality, when you make your visions manifest in the world and actually do something about it in a way that like has an effect and will build on itself and grow. And so there's something here about, I think, you know, if you're on the highest version of your path because you're actually like working on it and working on the like practical tangible aspects of it, and you're not just in your head about it or dreaming about it. Let's look at these. I'll come back. Let's see. Where are you on the path now? With the Five of Swords, I think it's like you're encountering some issues with other people about your ideas. And not everybody might believe in what you're doing or the way you're doing it. And like I said, I think you're kind of okay with that. I don't think it's the best. I think it can be kind of hard when you have a vision that not everybody understands. But I think, this man in the suit of armor, you're very strong, and it doesn't affect your conviction too much. I think it can be discouraging or disheartening. And just tough. When you have a vision, sometimes it's hard. People don't see it the way you see it. But I don't know that shakes your resolve too much. I think it just makes it practically maybe a little bit more difficult for you or something like that. I'm gonna read in the Hero's Journey. Make sure this is still running. Yeah. So you have, also for current energies, you have the thin veil. Let go and let glow. 36. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. There is a special relationship between death, dreams, and meditation. These states reside on the other side of the veil, where perception widens and dimensions that always existed are suddenly accessible in plain view. When you firmly identify with the ordinary world of the tangible and three-dimensional, it makes sense to resist crossing through the veil because of its perceived association with loss, destruction, or annihilation. However, when you do journey back and forth across the veil, you carry multi-dimensional wisdom to the ordinary world to remind everyone that they too have access to this heavenly elixir. When tragedy strikes or a nightmare happens, and you are catapulted from your comfy, cozy world across the veil and into the extraordinary realm, you no longer need to fight the transition. Rather, be grateful for the opportunity to deepen and live into more of your potential. It says that in the Hero's Journey, this is stage 8, the supreme ordeal. I do think you're substantially along the way here, along your path. Like I said, this is already something you're clearly committed to, something you've been working on for, I think, very substantially for a long time. There's a lot of solidity here. And I get the feeling you're dealing with some complexity or some challenges that could be testing your faith a little bit. I think at the end of the day, you're committed, but I think this feeling that other people can't see what you see is hard. And there's something here about the veil that, like, you do have access to this information or these experiences that other people don't have. you're in a transition moment here on your path. And I think it could alchemize. I don't know if it's something different, but it's like, it's a test of faith. Yeah. The mantra says, the awareness of the preciousness of life puts a gale force beneath my wings. There's something about being tested here. That makes you even stronger, and it's part of the path. It's the test from the universe. I think your strengths are your clarity and your conviction and your devotion and your ideas. Your certainty in the sense that you know. You know something and you know it's real. But your challenges, again, there's something here where what could be holding you back is, it's the Eight of Pentacles. There's something, materially, there's like a lack of opportunity. Or something that's being thwarted where you are not able to devote yourself fully to this. There may not be a lot of support. And again, I think it may feel like you're working alone sometimes. But I do think that you are on the right path, because how it feels when you are on that is just reiterating the Swords energy with the Queen of Swords here. I think you feel sure of yourself. I think there's like a mental clarity that comes to you. I'm having trouble like accessing what this feeling would be. I don't know. Let me know how that resonates. I'd be really curious. Your guidance from Spirit, messages from Spirit, is coming through as creativity. Fire is the light that brings life to our whole solar system. All the planets within the solar system are held in place through the gravitational force of the sun. The sun brings life to the whole planet as we see through the changing seasons and the changing of night to day. We live our life in the way that we do because of the sun. It is the original creative source. You are a microcosm of our galaxy. You are the sun with your created worlds spinning around the direction of your gravitational pull. This is a time for you to use the creative influence of the sun to create the life you want to live. Your life is in your hands, and every moment, every possibility that exists is open to you. Free will gives you creative control and responsibility. It's interesting. It says, we attract situations and make decisions based on our fears or programming. This is such a deep unconscious process that we don't even realize we are doing it. We become our own prison guard and don't even notice. When we take responsibility for our lives completely, both the pleasant and unpleasant, we take full ownership of our lives. This is true freedom. Every possibility is open to you now. Release your fears and personal limitations and embrace your life. You are one with the creative essence of life, with both the creator and the creation. Choose what you want for your world right now. I think you're someone who deals with some obstacles on your path from the outside world because you come from a background where things may have been difficult, or just kind of the uniqueness you have creates some difficulty around you in manifesting what you want. I'm getting this feeling like it's really hard. And there's something about your path where it's about your conviction, irregardless of how the world responds to it. You're someone who's taking personal responsibility to create changes in your life or in the world, and you're up against, with this really like supreme challenging time, it's like you're up against a lot of difficulty. And something about your challenge is about continuing to go and continuing to push and being certain about your perspective and believing in yourself and your own ideas. Because you play a part in the world, bigger world around you, and you affect things. And I feel like the effect that you have could be multi-generational, it could be beyond you, it could be about the legacy that you leave. I'm thinking here about, you know, when someone in a family decides, okay, this cycle of trauma, this cycle of behavior ends with me. And they're the ones that are butting up against the habits, the hardship, you know, they're actually trying to make a difference. And it's not easy, they're doing it alone. But they want to change things for the better, for the generations that come after them. So you're dealing with something that's like that, whether it's just you and your family and your life, or it has to do with the broader kind of world or community around you. And it could be that there's something that you do have. There's a creativity or art or something that comes into this that's part of your project and what you're doing. There's a little bit of kind of suffering artist energy here. And people not understanding what you're doing. And I want you to know that if there is like a creative project involved, what you're trying to do is like even bigger than that. It's about creating a context of sort of healing or enlightenment or understanding that's even bigger than that art. Like if there is creative work involved, it's symbolic. Of something even bigger. It may be something that is it may be something that's seeking well, I don't know. I kind of lost the train of thought a little bit. Yeah, I think you need to value what you're doing and appreciate the clarity you have, the clarity of purpose. And the challenges that you're dealing with are like part of your sort of personal hero's journey. They're a test of faith and resolve. I'm trying to think if there's any other clues here. I would love to know how that resonates. Pile 1. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Okay, bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome. So we are going to take a look at your current path, your highest path and potential. Are you on the right path? These are the questions I have for the reading. I picked a card for you, for your highest path, what it is, what it looks like, and the relationship between them. And then I picked a couple cards for where are you on your path right now? How far along are you? What's the current energy? We're going to take a look at your strengths. And then how does it feel? Like how will you know that you're on the right path? How will it feel when you are on that? And what are some clues maybe to know? And then some messages from Spirit to end the reading. So just so you know, I shuffle these off camera and pick them for the pile, but I don't look at them before I start. So just wanted you to know a little bit about my technique off camera. So for you, we got the Empress reversed. We got for your highest path or potential, we got the Seven of Swords. Oh, interesting. And the relationship between them is the Sun. What's the current energy? How far along are you? Where are you now? We got the Magician. And in the Oracle of the Hero's Journey, we got number 49, Afterglow. What are your strengths and your assets? Ten of Swords. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Okay. And what's the feeling you will have when you're on your highest path? Wow. Oh my god, another swords. We got the Nine of Swords. Oh my gosh. Interesting. Okay, and then messages from Spirit. Creativity. Okay. I had a feeling I would draw that again. I drew it for the first pile too. I think I have a lot of creative people here. So, okay, let me just think. Yeah, I think with the Empress reversed for you, there is a creative side to yourself that you would like to explore, and a love of beauty, and maybe even sensual pleasure or kind of Taurian type of things, Venusian type of experiences or pleasures that you're really into and feel love towards, but it's something that's maybe a little hidden right now, or you don't feel that you're able to take time to work on that. It may be too that you don't know if it's worth exploring or investing in right now. For your highest path, it's interesting that the Seven of Swords came out. And this is throwing me a little bit. I have to think about it. Your highest path might be something about doing your own thing and breaking away and rebelling from the systems or the communities or the world that brought you up. I'm having a feeling here that you're a little younger, or that you're kind of starting on your journey. There's some of that energy. You may feel pressure to conform, or pressure to think about others and be there for others, and you might get that kind of messaging. You may even have pressure from your family to go into a certain calling, a certain career. This feels a little bit like that to me, and you don't know. I think you don't know if it's gonna bother you to do that, or if it's gonna be something that you're ultimately sad about because you didn't lean into your kind of love of maybe beauty or some of the more creative aspects of your personality. I think you're hung up on that a little bit for like a good reason. If you're feeling a little bit of doubt about some of the pressures around you, or a little bit of like skepticism or trepidation about what you're being told, I think that's a very good thing. That means you're picking up on the right things there. And you're meant to listen to you and to your own heart. So I think you're very close. In fact, with the sun here, I would almost say you probably are on the right path. I just think you're also, it's still developing. And there's this side to you that you're not fully comfortable with embodying yet, that has to do with your path. You might be being called to, do something unconventional with your life. And when you think about it, it makes you feel really happy. I would say that you have a pretty easy and happy relationship with this side of you that you don't necessarily show to others yet, or that you haven't completely stepped into or committed to or embodied. But it does feel really fun and easy and joyful to you. Your highest path might be about forging your own way, forging your own identity, thinking about things a different way, or purposely not doing things the way that you were taught. there's a playful energy here too. With the Magician coming out as where are you on the path right now, it's leading me to feel that you are, that's kind of why I was getting the sense that maybe you are earlier, you're still developing into this aspect of your life. And I think you're dreaming about the possibilities, or not even dreaming about them. I think that you're actually thinking about them very realistically. I think you're thinking like, what's my potential here? What do I need to do? How do I approach this? There's excitement here, excitement and just put my head into my phone. There's a sense of wanting to create an opportunity for yourself. But there's, I don't know, I'm just feeling some energy here of like, this is, you're not exactly sure what it is yet. With the Hero's Journey Oracle, you got number 49, Afterglow, which is actually paradoxically at the end of the cycle. So interestingly enough, you have this early Magician energy, and then you have this thing that's very evolved, this force that's very evolved, and it comes towards the end of the Hero's Journey cycle. It says, land gracefully. There's a quote here that says, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or in foul, in good times or in tempests, in the days when the darkness and the foe are nameless or familiar, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Coming home with the elixir after a soul-altering experience requires consciousness, attention, and care. Okay, right off the bat, I think you had something happen to you recently that changed you and you can't go back. And you're like, I'm a different person now and I can't ignore this side of myself, this Empress side that is like, I know something now that I didn't know before. And it's changed who I am. A soul-altering experience. I think you just had something like that. That did put you on the right path for your life. You've been changed, yet the world you're returning to has remained much the same. So that's what I'm talking about either your family or your community or something like that. I think you have changed and they haven't. It's that type of a feeling. Like an airplane coming in for a landing, having sailed over oceans, deserts, and forests, if the pilot brings consciousness to the landing, it can be graceful, even though the craft is hitting solid asphalt. Returning home from a powerful inner and/or outer journey may seem like the time to let go, but this stage takes as much consciousness as the rest. To make your re-entry as smooth as possible, go out of your way to be gentle with yourself as you integrate slowly back to the ordinary world. You are now aware that you are a part of a much larger tapestry of life. Mantra: I am a citizen of both heaven and earth. I soar high and land with grace. For your strengths here, you have the Ten of Swords. I'm wondering if, and then the feeling you will have when you're on your highest path of potential is the Nine of Swords, which I know that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I think you know something now, though, that you can't ignore. This is the feeling of not being able to ignore an aspect of yourself and not being able to repress it or bury it anymore. And I think your strength is that you're in touch with that. You feel it. I think you have a very developed set of ideas or thoughts or opinions about something. I think you've learned a lot. And I think your highest path is asking you to lean into that and to explore that. What you know, what you've learned. You've changed and you can't go back. And I think when you are on your highest path, there are going to be some difficult feelings that come up. And you might be struggling with dark thoughts and anxiety. I mean, here, anxiety is literally written on the card. But I think you kind of can't go back to a normal life and just listening to the advice of the world around you and living your life via these well-trodden paths or models. There's paradoxically a lot of joy here about your highest path and about being on that path, and a lot of like playful energy. But there's anxiety here too, and I think you'll have to battle some feelings of like unknowns and feeling isolated and feeling unresolved about certain things. But I think that that's what's helping you become this unique person and walk this different path, this unique path. When you take something seriously and you really care about something, you know, you have anxiety over it. And with the Ten of Swords as your strength, I also think, I don't know if you're fully aware of this yet, but your commitment and a kind of your level of intelligence or expertise about something is really the thing that's working in your favor. I wonder if people underestimate you a little bit, because I think you have like a soft feminine energy. And they may not realize the levels to which you suffer and deal with difficult thoughts and emotions. So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling alone, if you feel worried, fear, a sense of a burden almost, like when you're on your path, that's not a bad sign. That's actually a sign that you are on the path. You might feel alone in this, but it gives you joy and it makes you happy too, and it makes you feel like you're flying and you're free. I want to read the Creativity Oracle card here. Fire is the light that brings life to our whole solar system. All the planets within the solar system are held in place through the gravitational force of the sun. The sun brings life to the whole planet as we see through the changing seasons and the changing of night to day. We live our life in the way that we do because of the sun. It is the original creative source. And here you have the sun in your reading actually coming up. This is some very unique, solitary, creative energy. You are the sun with your created world spinning around the direction of your gravitational pull. This is a time for you to use the creative influence of the sun to create the life you want to live. Your life is in your hands, and every moment, every possibility that exists is open to you. Free will gives you the creative control and responsibility. The problem is that we don't often use free will to steer our lives. We attract situations and make decisions based on our fears or programming. This is such a deep unconscious process that we don't even realize we are doing it. We become our own prison guard and don't even notice. I think that you are being asked to step in fully to your unique self and your unconventional self. And I think it's scary. And I think you can feel alone and untethered. And also like It may be like a type of thing where you have to follow the breadcrumbs a little bit. You may not even know how it's going to look. I think it's a force that's within you, and that you're a little bit of a channel of something. And you've been touched by something special or divine that's now meant to live in you and through you. And so you're being asked to step into that. And if you are, or you have already, yes, you are on the right path. You're a magician, you're a creator. And I think you have this really soft, unassuming quality. And you may not even know how to like share this side of you with people. Or how it fits in with you, or like other aspects of your life. But that's okay. I actually think that your sensitivity and a little bit of that retreat that you have inside of you, where you go inwards and kind of keep this a little bit private, it's just part of it. But I think you're like tentatively, there's a feeling that you're just beginning to explore this potential, this path. I think you've probably been through a lot already in your life. You've learned a lot, like I said, but you are a little bit unsure of something, I think, but that thing that you're unsure about is meant to grow. And I think it's the thing that you feel good doing, and it exposes or like is about your unique thoughts and ideas, but it is gonna feel like scary too. So just know that, but that's not a bad sign. Good luck, pile 2. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to this. And I'd love to hear about how that resonates with you. Please let me know in the comments. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at what is your highest path, and where are you on that path right now, and are you on your highest path? So these are the questions I wrote down. I picked a card for you, what your highest path is, and the kind of relationship between you and your highest path right now. What's the dynamic? I picked 2 cards for where am I on my path right now? How far along am I? What is the current energy with this? I picked a card to describe your strengths and assets on your journey. And then a card for the feeling you will have when you're on the right path. What will it feel like when you're doing this purpose and this higher calling, or when you're embodying your highest self? And what are clues that may help you in that, to know that that's where you're at? And then I'm going to close with some messages from Spirit. So This is the card I picked for you. Oh, and I wanted to say, I shuffle these and then draw them off camera just to keep the reading shorter to prepare, but I haven't looked at them. So there was only one in this whole thing flew out of the deck as I was shuffling, so I did see that. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a little backstory about how I usually do readings. Okay, so for you, I got the Page of Cups. Let's see, for your highest path, interesting, we have Queen of Cups reverse. And then for the relationship between the two, the dynamic here, I got the Lovers reversed. Okay. Where am I on my path right now? How far along are you? We got the Four of Pentacles. And then in the Hero's Journey Oracle, I picked the Call. It says, honor the whisper of your soul. Let's see, I'll put this under here. What are your strengths? Got the Page of Wands. What's the feeling you will have when you are on your highest path? This is the one that flew out, and it flew out upside down, so I kept it like this. And then the messages from Spirit, we have intuition. I'll put this right here. Okay, pile 3. Yes, you are on your path. You're going in the direction you're meant to go. But I would say you still have some things to get through and sort of some growing to do. Potentially even some healing or some learning, some self-discovery. Before you're gonna fully embody the energy you're destined to become. Because for you, I have the Page of Cups, and for your highest path, we have the Queen of Cups reversed, which is just telling me that this is in your destiny to become this queen, to mature from the page into the queen. But right now, I think it's like you're just not there quite yet. And in between, we have the Lovers, which also came up reversed. So the feeling I get is that there's still some self-discovery or understanding that is going to be taking place to help you get to this beautiful, beautiful destiny. I feel that your highest path is one where you embody the softness and the sensitivity that you have, one in which you're very in touch with your emotions, and you're also able to honor yourself and care for yourself and feel compassion for yourself. There's almost a feeling of like healing here a little bit. You'll be even more mature, and that you feel in touch, I think, more with your true emotions and develop your own unique sense of self and the world around you. I think you're a very loving, sweet, sensitive soul. And it's in your destiny to use that as your destiny is that is your path, that healing, that being in touch with your emotions. Like, that's the key for you. There's a feminine energy here. I think it's possible that you may have been wounded or hurt by some people in your life or by relationships you've had. With the Lovers reversed, it's giving me that impression you might be in a very tender frame of mind from a relationship that you've been in or potentially still are in, or maybe just a close connection, someone in your family. That could have hurt you in some way. And I think you're in the process of healing from that. The Lovers also makes me think about choices and alignment. And it could also be that you're learning to look out for yourself and get in touch with your own emotions. You might be a little anxious around your relationships about others, with others that you maybe don't want people to leave, or maybe there's a fear of abandonment. But I think the call here is to learn how to take care of yourself and put yourself first. And honor your feelings above anything else. Because you're very tender, very sensitive. And you need to look out for that sensitive aspect of yourself and take care of that aspect of you. And that's very important here. That is your destiny, that's your higher purpose. That's what's being required. You've been learning that you can't always trust everyone. Or just learning the basic experience I think everyone has of just people letting you down or disappointing you or not valuing you. There's just a sense maybe of a little bit of sadness here. But a real capacity to love and a real loving nature. I think you're a really beautiful person. And I really get the feeling here of like you're a gem. You are a gem, and anybody would be lucky to be with you. I wonder if like some people that you deal with are immature. They don't realize like the treasure they have, and because you don't want to be alone, you're wondering if you have to adapt to others. But no, it's they're the ones with the problem. They should be adapting to you. And you might have to lead the way here. You might have to grow into your maturity before you're able to find like more nurturing connections. But I don't think you have a long road to go, because I think you're a really beautiful, loving person. I think the cards are asking you to examine the choices you're making and put yourself first. And if you feel something, take that seriously. If someone's disappointed you, take that seriously and don't give them another chance, for instance. Or if someone doesn't speak to you with respect or doesn't treat you in a way that they should, that's a feeling to be listened to and taken seriously. Not everyone is meant to have access to the treasure. That is you. Like I said, you're a gem. There's something very, very special about you and your heart and who you are and your spirit. If you can grow into this capacity that's within you to be a true, like someone that's like in touch with their emotions and their heart, I think that you'll realize that you know how to draw boundaries a little bit more intuitively. And you'll be able to embody this energy of allowing yourself to be sensitive and being a lover. You may not even be fully aware of this. You may not even be fully aware of some of the feelings you're having. In fact, with the Page of Cups, I think you're a really interesting, curious, I don't know, just playful, maybe kind of fun-loving, sweet, like tempered person. And you could be creative also. The Page of Cups is very, very creative, very sensitive. But I think you're someone that is not meant to be solitary. I think relationships are important to you and part of your higher path. And so I want to say that yes, you are on your highest path, but there's development that's going on, and there's an evolution of healing or wisdom or maturity that's coming your way or that is in your life presently. Where you are right now is the Four of Pentacles. So this is foundational energy. You could be going through something right now that is a big lesson in your life and something you'll take forward with you. It's part of your story. And it's reminding me of something that happens to somebody or that they go through earlier on in their life or in their path or in their journey to self-discovery. It's sort of a formative experience. With the call here, this is literally the first card in the hero's journey. So you could have just recently had a kind of awakening, spiritual awakening, or a feeling of like a desire to step into this path or to step into this purpose. And I think it did come from some sort of experience in your life that affected you on the heart, on like a heart level. And I think it could have been like a relationship. Let's see. Honor the whisper of your soul. Oh my gosh, this is this famous quote. I think so many people have seen this by Anais Nin. Anais Nin. I think that's maybe how you pronounce her name. And the day came when the wish to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. So yeah, you went through something that caused you heartache, and you're being asked now to move beyond that and to become your true, authentic, full self. It's funny that this came up with this Four of Pentacles, because this is like somebody like pulling in and like hugging these pentacles, like they're like in the tight, remaining tight in the bud, you know what I mean? They're not blossoming, they're holding within, going within, like holding fast to something. And I feel like you can't move on in your journey in that state. You have to like open. But part of that is going to be day by day, listening to your heart and making good choices that are aligned with your heart. You have to listen to like, yeah, the whisper of your soul. You have to start trusting yourself. It is painful to open up and to open our heart. And there is a sense that we do, as we open into this beautiful flower, we do have to protect ourselves too. And we do that by listening to our heart, listening to our intuition, listening to the still small voice within. What is your true calling in life? What special gifts have you been given? What is the unique niche that only you can inhabit? What situations bring out your bliss? What do you typically get complimented on and shrug off because it comes so naturally? These important questions can help you recognize what Aristotle called entelechy. I've never heard of that. The great one-of-a-kind potential you've been encoded with. Wow, so I think you're being called onto this path now. Aristotle also said, entelechy is when the soul is actualized in the body. Dreams are important because they speak the language of the soul. They are a compass, always pointing you in the right direction, helping correct your course when needed, and letting you know, sometimes loudly, when you've fallen asleep and need to wake up. Your mantra is, I wake up and everything I do moves me toward the fulfillment of my greatest dreams. So I think you're starting out in a way, or starting over. But I think it's like a starting out, like you're in kind of an awakening, initiation energy onto the path of your highest purpose and your calling. And it's like with the Page of Cups here and the little fish poking its head out, it's like you're hearing these like little whispers. But I think it's still a little bit unformed or amorphous. But the only way you will discover it is by opening up and sort of letting go and honoring your heart and honoring these voices. And maybe like not thinking about how things look or how you look to others. But kind of this radical listening to your heart. I think as sort of an emotional creature, I wouldn't seek like solidity so much. I would honor sort of the changeable emotions you have and use that to navigate your world. I think that's going to serve you more than anything else could. And so wherever you are right now, you're being asked to remember that it's about listening to your heart and it's about listening to your own emotions. And not really judging yourself from like an objective place. Your strengths and assets are the Page of Wands. So I think you have a real enthusiasm or creative energy or interest in expressing yourself. So listen to that too. That's your greatest strength. The desire to explore, the desire to learn, to create. When you feel like enthusiasm about something, or like these little whispers, these little nudges, these little this feeling of excitement, like you want to try something new, you want to do this thing, you feel inspired. Really, really listen to that inspiration. That's very critical for you. And as you open up more and listen to your heart, you'll start to feel more and more inspired as you go along, and that will develop as well. And I think you'll just know it. In your heart, you'll feel it. It just comes so naturally to you. So you're like you're a creative, emotive, expressive being here. And there's treasure there, and you are really being asked to value that. Your own like subjective interest, your own curiosity. How will it feel when you reach this highest path and potential? And what are some clues to know? I think it's gonna feel like a letting go. This card says burden. It's the 10 of Wands, and the key word on the card is burden. And it fell out when I was shuffling in my lap, and it fell out upside down. And one of the meanings for this card, when it does come out upside down, is like a letting go of burden. Maybe the burden for you is the expectations of others, or what people think, or, you know, even the need to like please or make people happy. Difficult, like getting a little bit entangled in like dynamics with other people who put themselves first, or just sort of difficult dynamics there. I think when you're on your highest path, you'll feel a kind of freedom and liberation and a letting go, and just feeling unburdened and feeling the freedom of just what's in your heart. It's gonna feel much simpler and easier for you. For your guidance from Spirit, you got intuition. And so I'm gonna read that. I mean, and that's, if it's not clear enough already, I mean, listening to your heart, making choices through what your heart wants and your intuition, which, yes, are one and the same. I'm someone, for instance, who I have a tough time trusting sometimes the feelings in my heart, and I tend to like listen more to the intuition that's like in my mental space that I feel. But that can deceive you, and your heart will like never deceive you. Your heart always knows the truth. And there's like even little hearts over the eyes in this card. I mean, if you listen to the intuition that's in your heart space, I think it will never lead you astray. I hope that makes sense. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Every answer to every question we have lies within us. The voice inside, the feeling in our gut and in our bones is our intuition. Intuition is another human sense. Our eyes and ears tell us what is around us. Touch gives us texture. Smell and taste interact with our surroundings. Intuition tells us how we feel about our world, beyond what the physical 5 senses can tell us. So if I haven't made this clear already, I think you're again being asked to shift into your subjective judgment of things and use your subjective emotional experience to make decisions. That's what intuition is. It's not listening so much to the opinions of others. I think you're going to feel really confused if you try to take all that in also. You're being asked to just listen to yourself, and that's it. Intuition guides us to our own personal higher cause. It tells us what choices will best suit us, who we want in our lives, and how to interpret the energy of our environment. On a higher level, and there we go, who we want in our lives. That's very key for you. And how to interpret the energy in your environment. Yep. On a higher level, intuition may tell you universal truths. It is our intuition that connects us to ourselves and what we need for ourselves on a deeper level. When we lose touch with the inner voice that guides and directs our lives, we become lost. When we make choices based on lower impulses that serve the ego or become dependent on outside sources to be the only guide and director of our lives, we become easily confused and indecisive, or even begin to fear and lack faith and trust in life. I feel like that's what we were talking about. When in doubt, go back to this feeling of the call. Honor the whisper of your soul. Like, go back to this initial energy of awakening. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. In this day and age, it is essential to make time to listen to yourself. We are being fed so much information that tells us what to do, how to feel, and what to think, and we are so busy doing and distracting ourselves with tools of escape in our spare time that it is easy to forget to stop and just be with the self. If you have drawn this card, it is time for you to do that now. The answers you seek are inside you already. Stop, be still, and feel the truth within you. No one knows what is right for you better than yourself. Have faith in yourself and listen to your intuition, for that will always steer you in the right direction. So yeah, you're on the right path, Pile 3. You just have to learn to listen to yourself in order to make good decisions for your future. And you just have to, you may have to remind yourself to come back to that again and again and again. Thank you so much for being here, and I wish you the best and see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, Pile 4. So I shuffled off camera and I haven't looked at these. I just wanted you to know kind of how I work. Okay, we're gonna look at you and your highest path and potential today. So I pulled a card for you, a card for describing your highest path, a card for the relationship between them, and then we're gonna look at like where are you on your path right now, how far along are you, or what's the current energy. And then we're going to look at some strengths and assets. And then what's the feeling you will have when you are on your highest path? How will you know that you're there and that you're embodying this potential? What are some clues and insights into that? And then some messages from Spirit to end the reading. Okay. So... for you, I picked the Fool. For your highest path, I picked 9 of Pentacles. And for where you are, In the relationship between these things, I got the Two of Pentacles reversed. For the current energy and where you are on this now, you're at the Six of Swords. Can you see this okay? I think so. And also, I picked a card from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. Number 29, never a crowd on the leading edge. Honor those who honor you. Some strengths, judgment. Cool, interesting. How it might feel for you when you're on the highest path. I got Nine of Pentacles. Interesting, okay. And a message from your angels and spirit guides, divine love. I was getting a feeling when I was shuffling these cards and preparing this pile that this was like a very special person. Sort of really a deep and cosmic energy, and someone whose life is really meant for a big purpose. I could just feel it in my heart and in my chest as I was preparing this pile. I think that you are a way shower of some kind, or you're here to discover something very new and different. You might be a kind of genius. I think you're here to show people something very different, or to discover something really special. I think you're here to lead. I think your soul is probably pretty evolved. Whatever you're doing, it's going to be really spectacular and significant. For the card I picked for you, it was the Fool. And that's just making me think about like 0 point energy, the Alpha and the Omega. It's like, this is like expansive potential that again is giving me like a feeling of something cosmic. You're not only like a free spirit or free thinker, but you're really living and embodying that, or the way you're living is really embodying that. Like, people can readily see that about you. There's no, shrinking quality to you. I think you are confident. Wait just a second. Hi, Pile 4, I'm back. Okay, so I think you're very in touch. The good news here is that you're very in touch with this free spirit energy and with your higher purpose. And you don't have a lot of resistance to that. You let yourself be led. intuitively and you have an ease with about the way you go through life. You have kind of a strong faith and resilience, and I think a very kind of adventurous or pioneering spirit or explorer kind of spirit. For your highest path, I got the 9 of Pentacles reversed. The 9 of Pentacles is the card of luxury and abundance, and it makes, I think a lot of people associate it with like finery and like the best things in life and like sensual pleasures and just owning these beautiful, luxurious things, having these sensual pleasures. And it could be, or I guess what I'm getting here, I think, is that your highest path requires you to make sacrifices. And as you follow this calling or this destiny or this spirit, you are going to be passing by some of the normal markers of life that other people go through. Like their first job, getting married, having a family, investing in their, children and then their retirement or whatever it is. It's like there's this kind of sense that there's like a normal progression of the way the life experience is oriented over time for people that you are going to eschew and that you're going to kind of not live by and sort of like pass, like I'm picturing someone passing by these little hallmarks of life in a car and seeing them go by. But that's not how you're going to be living your life. But I think that also might require certain sacrifices from you. You may not ever feel like you're firmly planted in the material world, or that you have there's a feeling here of like you're doing okay, like, or getting by, but it's like you may never have some of the luxury of life that other people kind of want, or material comforts. But I don't know if you care. I don't know if that interests you. I'm not sure about that right now. And whatever you do is okay, but I feel like your highest path just doesn't really involve those things in some way. With your relationship with your highest path, I think even though you're very in touch with your spirit and you're very much embodying this life and this kind of the spirit you've been born with, I I feel like you're having a little bit of trouble right now, and you are maybe a little bit off balance. I think the unknown, intuitive, impulsive nature of your life experience is hard for you. And it is actually hard to make these sacrifices and to deal with some of the precarity that you have to face given the life you have. I'm getting the feeling like sometimes you may not like know where you're gonna live, or you know, you're on the road, or like there's just something that is not rooted or predictable about your life, and you kind of never know where you're gonna end up, and you might have to think on your feet and make plans like that are just quickly adapt to like moving situations. And that might be hard for some. I don't know if that's hard for you, but I do wonder, with this coming out upside down, if it is giving you some trouble in the present moment. Just sort of like how the material aspect of your life and of your path. I think you're okay with making certain sacrifices, but at the present, you're not having like a super easy go of it, and there's something that is creating some difficulties for you. You're in a point in your journey where I think some of the experiences you had in the past you're ready to like let go of and move beyond. And it could be that some of the past life experiences you've had were a little chaotic or a little bit much, and you're interested in moving to like a little bit more of like a peaceful, soulful place. It feels a little calmer. It's like there's also a feeling here of like, you know when it's time to leave. You know when it's time to like sort of move on. And that's a big part of your life, is just like, you know, just, okay, like now's I'm gonna go for this next thing now. And you just kind of, you know how to leave things behind. And there's like just this uprooted quality. Just this on the road quality to your life. The Hero's Journey Oracle, I picked this card, Never a Crowd on the Leading Edge. Don't you hear it? She asked, and I shook my head no, and then she started to dance. And suddenly there was music everywhere. And it went on for a very long time, and when I finally found words, all I could say was thank you. From time to time along your hero's journey, you will serendipitously encounter fellow travelers with whom there are sparks of resonance. It is always a thrill to discover you are exploring similar areas of fascination and thus uncovering similar revelations within the same parentheses of time. In these moments, allow yourself to be heartened, validated, reassured, and invigorated. You don't need throngs of people standing shoulder to shoulder with you or cheering you on to be infused with strength and inspiration. There is never a crowd on the leading edge, so if you meet only one kindred soul on your path, consider yourself lucky. Nurture your supportive relationships and feel the blessing of these like-minded souls for their belief in you and for the mutual blessing you bring each other. Gratefully see your own courage, wisdom, and adventurous spirit reflected in them. The mantra is, my fellow travelers infuse me with rocket fuel so I can go further than I could go on my own. I'm thinking that with your pioneering spirit, you might be a part of like a group of people for a time, or you might have certain relationships that mean a lot to you for a time, but it's like there's something about you that you kind of have to like keep going. And so you have this experience, but you never want to stay there. You want to just like keep going. And so you might get to know people really well, but then sort of move on and maybe just like never talk to them again. And not in a bad way, but just like, you don't need that. That wasn't meant to last forever. That was just a beautiful moment in time. And I think you're in a more mature place in your journey. I still think you have a ways to go, but it's like, you've had enough experience to have perspective on things. And you're gaining a lot of wisdom. With never a crowd on the leading edge, I mean, it just reiterates what I feel, which is I think you've come here to really be a free spirit and pave new ground and do something very different and not live your life at all in the ways other people do. And also it's just the principle of discovery and creation is you might have to sort of be a solitary person and sort of be alone in order to create or discover certain things. There's something about it that like you can't do it with other people. Like you kind of have to go your own way and be like more solitary. Judgment came out for your strengths. And so I think you have kind of a direct channel into something that is really inspiring to you and really profound. And you just have that. It's a gift. And it comes to you. And that's what drives you, is this feeling of this calling or this like inspiration you get. It's very strong and it's very like clear. The strength here is that like you're very sure of yourself and you know what it is that you want and what you need to do. And you let that guide you without much trepidation or doubt. But it's interesting here. The card I got for how it's going to feel when you're on the right path is I got the Knight of Pentacles. And so I wonder if it's like you're going to feel like you're working hard at something and you're really devoted to something. You're again surrendering or sacrificing something for like a higher purpose. And there's also a sense that it might not feel so kind of like you're unmoored. It might feel, you might get glimpses of times when you do feel more ruddered and more, a little bit more stable for a time. I do think you're someone who's always going to be like moving. But when you get these glimpses or like opening times where you're like, you have this interest and you feel like focused on that, it's a focused energy. I think that's when you're on your highest path, because that's how you take this like energy you're channeling and that comes to you and make it into something real, or discover something real with that. I'm wondering if you're somebody who's interested in I don't know, you remind me of somebody that would be sort of interested in maybe like science or like psychedelic things. Just like how like physics even, and like how the world works. What are the laws of laws of nature? You have that kind of mind. Like a curious mind and need to explore. It's like, I'm thinking of the type of archetype of like a scientist who's like going into the lab to study something and to like really rigorously like try to analyze something, but then when that project is over, they move on and they just, what do I want to work on next? But you feel like somebody also who's kind of like a free-spirited, like kind of hippie at the same time. Like I feel like you love music. You know, you just love like vibing and feeling good, and you probably do like mind-altering substances. You like these glimpses into other realms, and yeah, kind of like these like psychedelic experiences too. And you're just sort of unafraid, and you just want to learn and discover, or at least to the extent that you are afraid or have self-doubt or wonder what you're doing. I don't know if that's something that other people would sense in you. Your Ask an Angel guidebook card was Divine Love. Love is the essence of all there is. If everything in the universe is in divine and perfect order, and every situation, event, and experience brings about the next step of the cosmic dance, then every experience, whether happy or sad, is God's love, working through our lives, teaching us and helping us to grow and evolve. When you can look at your experiences and see what your soul has gained, you allow the love of God into your heart. Every experience offers you the opportunity to learn and grow, and this is the greatest gift of all. Like the muscles in the body, when the psyche is not challenged and exercised, it becomes weak, limp, and eventually dies. It is a time now to realize that you are loved, you are love. That is the simple truth, whether you are conscious of it or not. This is a time for turning the act of love inward on yourself. The universe offers endless supplies of love, but what you do with that is your choice. All relationships are a reflection of what you feel about yourself and what you feel you deserve. It is time to really notice what your relationships are saying about you. It is time to go within and really give yourself what you need. That may require you to take time for yourself, set new boundaries, or pamper and adorn yourself. Whatever it is imperative that you pinpoint what it is you really need and work on fulfilling that need for yourself. An easy way of figuring out what you need is to look at what you feel is missing in your relationship, or noticing what it is that attracts you about a person, and in turn giving those things to yourself. Once you take it upon yourself to love, honor, and respect yourself and remove any harmful influences, you will find that the world will reflect that love back to you. Do you feel unworthy of love sometimes because you feel like it would be hard for someone to be with you because you have this kind of different life experience? Or maybe you're even scared to get close to somebody because you're like, well, I don't want to move on then and like hurt them. Like, are they going to understand me? It could be hard to like let other people in that way or trust them. Because I do get this feeling like sometimes with relationships you do kind of, you move on to the next thing. The card also gives me the feeling of like, yeah, they were talking about like this love is everything there is, and there's like this divine cosmic dance that we all play a part in, and everything is sort of like divinely orchestrated. It's like making me think about these like bigger patterns to life, and you seem so in touch with that. It's like if you don't travel a lot, I mean, you have a traveling, pioneering spirit inside, and I guess maybe it has to do with like being online or exploring the world in an alternative way, but like, or through learning, but you definitely feel like just a traveler or a mystic. And you're just like in touch with this divine kind of bigger collective experience of life. And it could be that like no one's really a stranger to you. You're always interested in meeting someone new and making new friends, learning something new. But I think you're gonna know when you're on your highest path, because you actually do feel ready to like invest your energy and interest into something and you're focused for a while. But I think part of your path is about not doing it the way other people do it and not having like the same goals. And that could be difficult at times because I don't think you question yourself, but it's like maybe there's some temptation here, or there's things that cause you to wonder or not totally be committed to something. And it could be easy to just like stay on your toes or something instead of like that could be a temptation because that's what feels safe to you. But I think you have to follow the ideas that come to you and listen to the part of your life that says, okay, I'm like solidly interested in this thing and I want to do something with it, or I want to do something about it. Pile 4, I'm back. I was doing your reading yesterday and I was kind of fading a little bit towards the end, and I just wanted to come back and kind of give you a little bit of a synopsis of what I saw, because this is a really interesting reading and I just wanted to give it its I don't know, like give it my best effort, I guess. To recap, I think that you are struggling a little bit right now with something about getting on your path. With the Two of Pentacles reversed, it does feel to me like you're on, you're off, there's something unbalanced going on right now where you can't quite stay on the path. And you're dealing with some sort of conflicts that are preventing you from building that kind of resilience and that kind of self-assuredness you would need to continue on this journey. You may be like a little bit out of touch with some aspects of your highest path at the moment. But I think that's only because you have this pioneer, renegade kind of spirit and destiny, and so I just think it's a special path, and because of that it's difficult. It's probably more difficult than most. I mean, this is almost like a true hero's journey experience that I'm looking at. If you identify with that like Joseph Campbell, hero's journey, that might apply to you, and I think that I think it might be worth reading about if you don't know about it. And I also think with the Two of Pentacles here reversed, and then here, if you look at your screen, on this Judgment card, there are these two like round shapes in the card that look like the Two of Pentacles here, and there's almost a sense that you might even struggle with some darkness or some temptation, or there might be some sort of thing here where that's some of the source of your struggle, or trying to stay on the right path, is because it might be hard for you at times to determine like what's the right way, or you might be around a lot of influences that kind of can take you off your path, I guess. Yeah, and so again, just I think that you want to seek the feeling of like creating your own stability. I don't think it's going to look like other people's stability looks, and I don't think you're ever going to have sort of the trappings of like maybe like a rich, like kind of normal life or whatever a lot of people want. I think it's going to be more about forging your own path and finding your own project that you want to pursue. And it's not going to feel like it's necessarily sanctioned by the formula or the model or like how most people live. It's going to feel unique to you, but it's going to feel like something you're really interested in and that you're not conflicted about, I think. And it might be something that you might feel like you're going it alone a little bit and creating like a new path or a new model. Like, that's what it is. I think that your path is just a new and different path. And so there might be some uneven energy as you go along and as you find it. But once you find that thing that like, I think you do feel unconflicted about and inspired by, that's the thing to listen to. And that's how you know, is that it's like you feel like sinking your teeth into something, and actually creating something that would be lasting or meaningful or real in some way. Okay, take care. Bye, Pile 4. Hi, Pile 5. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so the cards were so active when I was shuffling for you. They were just jumping out. I was feeling really strong messages. So I think this is going to be a very dynamic group in reading already. I think the spirits, spirit guides, angels, the universe, whatever you feel is connected, whatever you feel connected with is wanting to talk to you today. So I did shuffle beforehand, but I don't look at the cards before I read, just so you kind of know my methods. Today, these are the questions I wrote down for Are You on the Right Path? So I picked a card for you. I picked a card for what your highest path is, like what it looks like, and then the relationship between them. And then I picked a card for like where you are on your path now, how far along are you, and just what's the current energy, like what's going on right now. I also picked a card for the strengths and assets that you have going for you. And then what's the feeling you will have also like when you're on your highest path and reaching your highest potential, like what are some clues to know that that's where you are, like when you are on the right path, how will you know? And then to close, some messages from Spirit. I have the Ask an Angel guidebook for that. I'm also using the Hero's Journey Oracle today that we will reference, and I'll probably read from this book. Okay, so let's get into it. Pile 5. So this is the card that I picked for you. I got the 7 of Cups reversed. And then for your highest path or potential, ooh, the Tower reversed. Okay, yeah, we do have some dynamic energy going on here. All right. And then 2 cards flew out for the relationship sort of between you and your highest path. The 8 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. So they both came out, so I just took them both. Where are you on this path now? We've got the Knight of Swords. And from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle deck, you are invited. Suit up, show up, and open up. Number 9. That's beautiful. What are your strengths and assets that you have going for you? We've got the Lovers. How will it feel when you're on the right path? We've got the 4 of Swords and the Queen of Swords. And then the message from the Ask an Angel Oracle deck is passion. Well, right off the bat, I think you're a very passionate person. And I think at the moment you are on the right path, but you're feeling kind of thwarted and dispassionate or doubting something about your journey, or unsure or insecure about something, what's coming next maybe. And your highest path, we got the Tower reversed. It's really weird. It's almost like it's coming out that it's kind of unknown. Let me think about this for a little bit, Pile 5. I think you don't really know. You may struggle to know what you want. And you also may feel that the most important thing to you about your highest path is like knowing that it's real. I think that you are someone who is either struggling with doubt or has had a lot of life experiences that just make it's hard to believe in things. It's hard to believe in yourself, or it's hard to believe in others or situations that come up. it's almost like your path isn't going to totally manifest until you can start to like believe in something or believe in yourself or like have a better sense of what it is that you're going for. I think you're in a little bit of a kind of crisis of what you want right now. But not a bad thing. I think you've got a lot going for you. And I think it's a good quality actually to want to be really sure of things. And to want to believe in something. It's almost like you're wondering like, what's really worth it? You may have gone through things in life also that have really upended your point of view about the world. This reminds me of somebody whose world got turned upside down and who like went down the rabbit hole and is just kind of like reeling from that a little bit and just like, the world is not what I thought it was. And like, does anything matter? Like, what is the point of all this? Which side is up? Which end is up? What do I even believe in? But paradoxically, well, and also there's a feeling of just like, is the world on fire? Like, are we okay? like it's hard to even imagine a higher path or like what path do you want to be on when everything just seems like it's in flames or something. And I kind of say that jokingly, but that's very real. I mean, how can you be inspired to plant seeds in the ground and water the soil when, you know, the field is on fire? And I think a lot of this is like your perception. I think we're going through a time politically and also with information, how we get information, how we participate in that, and how we, like, yeah, we make sense of our world, where it's a time where I think a lot of people are kind of like waking up and realizing the world isn't what they thought it was. And I guess that's giving me that energy a little bit of kind of, I don't know, like being red-pilled or something, just not really knowing what to believe in anymore. That could be the case. I might just be taking it too far. It could also just be the case that you don't quite know what's next. You're in a transitional period and you're not really sure what you want to invest your time and energy in your life. And there might be a lot of options, or it might just seem like there's kind of like no options right now, actually. Like nothing's kind of happening. But also you're not really sure what to go after. Like, well, what should you do next? And what do you care about? You're just not really sure right now. And again, it could just seem like there's circumstances beyond your control affecting things. And it feels hard to put faith in anything because it may not feel like there's anything that's really tangible and dependable. I think it's your path to keep going anyway. And despite the fact that there's sort of these upside down energies with you and your highest path, the dynamic between them, I got upright cards, which means whatever you're doing right now is actually you are on the right path, and it just probably doesn't feel like that to you. It probably feels like you don't know what you're doing, but the feeling I get from these cards that came out in between are that you're working on something right now. You're actively working on something and actually developing a level of expertise. And you're also just kind of sitting back and listening and like trying to figure out what you think. Making up your own mind in the midst of the chaos and confusion. You might even have an offer that's come into you, but you're just not sure whether to take it. You're not sure if it's real, and you're not sure what to depend on right now, and you're not sure what you believe in. And I think in the meantime, you're just sort of doing your thing and working, paying attention to what's real. Like what can you really depend on? What do you really need to live? Like, you need to make money, you need the practical necessities of life. And for the moment, you're just kind of diligently doing that. And when it comes to like the bigger stuff, you're just kind of like, I don't know, sitting back a little bit and taking your time to make your mind up, actually, which is a really good thing. Paradoxically, however, where are you on your path? We have the Knight of Swords, which is a very fast-moving energy. So there's something about your energy right now that is I think has learned a lot, is slightly you have some experiences behind you, and you have a lot of passion, probably a lot of thoughts, reflections, opinions. There's like a lot of passion to go somewhere. But sometimes with the Knight of Swords, the point of that card can be that there's almost a feeling of like, where do we go? Where do we go? And it's like, we're almost like moving fast, but don't have like a clear sense of direction. Or there's like a need to move faster, an urgency that could be like unnecessary or unwarranted. You're going for something here. And I see that you're working towards something too. But then there's just also this real ambivalence and sort of confused confused feeling at the same time. I wonder what that's about, and I would love to hear if you feel like sharing in the comments. Because right now I'm a little unsure of what to make of this. I'm gonna look at your Hero's Journey Oracle card. You got number 9. You are invited. Suit up, show up, and open up. Are you learning a lot right now? Maybe that's what it is with the Knight of Swords, because it being sword, mental, air energy. You could be just really curious about something and you're like on the trail in hot pursuit. The feeling I get is that you're passionate about something, or you're learning about something, or you've got this new interest in curiosity. Maybe not so new, but maybe like a new passion around an interest in your life. And the vibe I'm getting is almost it's something that you're doing. You could have like a interest that's like outside of your work, or an extracurricular thing, or like it doesn't necessarily have to do with your career. It's like more like a passion project, or something you've discovered that you're passionate about. I'm gonna read You Are Invited, number 9. Suit up, show up, and open up. This is stage 2, the call to adventure. Okay, that's where we are, baby. We're in the call to adventure. The world isn't what it used to seem. In the meantime, we're just gonna pretend like everything's normal. We're gonna keep working. We're not gonna freak out. We're just gonna sit back. But there's a fire inside of you that's developing, and you feel called to something. Never forget that life can only be nobly inspired and rightly lived if you take it bravely and gallantly. Wow, that's amazing. Here with the Knight of Swords. I'll read that again. Never forget that life can only be nobly inspired and rightly lived if you take it bravely and gallantly. As a splendid adventure in which you are setting out into an unknown country, to meet many a joy, to find many a comrade, to win and lose many a battle. From the gentle tap on your shoulder, notice the golden ticket in your hand and see the red carpet leading to your highest destiny rolled out before you. You have been cordially invited to show up to the party with your unique gifts, talents, experience, perspective, joy, humor, and sense of adventure. On this hero's journey, you are an honored guest. You don't have to figure out how this will go. You don't have to weigh the pros and cons or create a cost-benefit analysis. Instead, leap. Build your wings as you go and trust that even if you fall, you will be falling forward. Wow, and see here with the tower. I just got chills. Here with the tower, the people are falling, it's upside down, but they're also like, with it being upside down, it's like they're not even falling, they're just leaping like into the void, and they're safe, they're okay. They've just extricated themselves from the world that they knew, and they're leaping out into an adventure. Build your wings as you go and trust that even if you fall, you will be falling forward. Even if you stumble and fumble, it will be into the ecstasy of expansion. The mantra is, I am honored to have been given a golden ticket to participate in my best life. I'm not a huge fan of, I'm sorry to offend any viewers here that are, but I've never been a huge fan of like Willy Wonka. I don't even think I've ever seen that whole movie, but I think the boy gets the golden ticket, and the golden ticket is actually the invitation to the tour. Am I right? So they go to the tour, to tour the factory, and that's when everything really goes crazy and strange things start happening and nothing is as it would seem at first. There's a different set of principles, a different set of laws, a different set of physics and ethics and punishment and a new set of rules in this world. And all of the children are trying to orient themselves to like this new dynamic, this new set of rules in this world and how to play this game. And so the golden ticket isn't the way out, it's the way in to the knowledge and the experience that actually is an experience of everything just going haywire. And it's the ticket into a different world. And it's just like an Alice in Wonderland world. It's a different set of rules. It's a strange experience. But you've been invited because you're being initiated. And you're being asked to do this. And I think you're ready to go with the Knight of Swords. I think your path you're being set on this path through this experience of the world turning upside down or right side up or whatever it is. And it's weird because it doesn't feel like the real world. And it feels like the upside down or something trippy is happening maybe to you. Or it feels like, you know, the Matrix being initiated into something. But that is your path. You've been invited. I think you're ready to go. I think there's some things you're unclear about. And you're not sure what to do, but you're also preparing yourself in a way. And you're trying to be deliberate. You want to make the right choice, I think. What are your strengths? We have the Lovers. This is crazy because I was talking earlier about like taking the red pill, and here with the Lovers we have Eve picking up the apple out of the ground, which is of course the symbol, it's the fruit of forbidden knowledge. And in a sense, Eve was the original red-pilled person. And I think with the story, there's such a sense of ambiguity. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? But it set in motion a course of events that kind of can't be undone. And I think that is how it feels when you learn certain things or have certain knowledge. You kind of can't go back. And then the serpent becomes a more ambiguous figure as well. Is the serpent bad? You know, there's a sense that the knowledge it becomes a burden. And it changes everything. The Lovers card is also about choice. And I think that's why this is here on the card. I think you want to make the right choice. And I think it coming up here is saying that I can't tell you if you're making the right choice. That's for you to decide, but there's something saying that the fact that you care you have this opportunity to make a choice, and that the choice in and of itself is the thing that's going for you, having this opportunity, I think. You have insight into something, and you're being initiated and you're being given a choice or an opportunity, and that's the strength you have. That's what's helping you right now. How it will feel when you're on the path. I got the Four of Swords and the Queen of Swords, so with the Four of Swords, it always reminds me of meditation and a connection to spirit and somebody who's kind of channeling. And it's also somebody that's in the world of the mind. They could be receiving information in their dreams. They could be learning information through meditation. They could be like receiving downloads. It feels like this whole spread is very matrixy to me. It's really giving me that vibe. And then the Queen of Swords is somebody who's very clear, has a very clear point of view, and is right. This is a very intelligent, incisive, like, person who they know what they stand for, they know what they believe in, and there's kind of full clarity around that. So I think when you're on the right path, it will feel like you just know. You don't know how you know, but you just know. Because you're in connection with something else. You're channeling, or you're receiving some information. You're in connection with something else and you just know. And it's more than you know that you're on the right path. You know the truth. And you can feel that you know the truth about something. And I don't think it's a kind of truth where you're I don't think you're being deceived somehow. It may not be everybody's truth, but you can feel that you're in touch with it, and there's full clarity around it for you. And it's like you see beyond the veil, you're penetrating something other people may not understand. And for you, it's very clear. For you, you understand exactly what's going on. And like I said, it's really hard to see it any other way. Because once you've seen it, once you know it, you can't go back. It could be that right now you're in this upside down 7 of Cups energy because it may be hard to fully step into that, or you're just now starting out the journey, and this could be the evolution of the journey, is this more clarity. And I wish that for you. I hope wherever you go on this journey, you'll have that clarity. I want to say, as some unsolicited advice, it could be important for you to stay vigilant and to make sure you are clear about what it is you believe and what's going on. I think it will be important for you to actually be able to communicate that to others and to communicate your point of view to others. And I think it would be good for you to hold yourself to that challenge. Like, I think you should root yourself in the clarity of your thoughts and in your ability to communicate them to others. And if you don't have that, I think you don't really have anything. I think you need to have that. The journey you're on that you've stepped into is one of a pursuit of a kind of knowledge. But you have to be able to digest that and fully understand it, and even get to a place where you can explain it to someone else. It's not other people might not understand, but I don't think it's going to be helpful or real or substantive if it's not something you can articulate. And that might be the real challenge here. Just thinking. I still can't get over that your highest path came out as that tower reverse. That is like, in and of itself, just really wild. I knew this reading was going to be exciting. I love it. But it just threw me. And I kind of still am just thinking about it. I mean, the tower right upside, right, I can't talk. Right side up is, you know, when things are falling apart unexpectedly, when chaos strikes. Upside down, which end is really up? We're kind of in a world where like, now the laws of physics are broken, and is there a future and a past, or is time really moving forward, and are we in a quantum world here, you know? That's kind of how it feels to me. It feels complicated. It also feels like a world in which, insofar as something maybe has gone wrong or some chaos has struck and devastation has happened, this is a world in which we're not going back to the way it used to be. And so that's why I think your highest path is about seeing things in a way other people can't. And you've eaten this fruit of forbidden knowledge, and you cannot, something has happened and you can't go back to the way the world used to be. We're in Alice in Wonderland now. You can go back to the world, but it's going to look very different. And so something about your highest path is that the world does not look to you like it may to others. And you may know things that others don't. And you may be able to see things that others don't even. But you will know you've reached it when you're able to understand really what it is you've learned, and that you're clear about what you believe and what you understand and what you've studied, and you could like teach that to other people, and make them understand it too. This is not meant to just be some trippy psychedelic like stoner experience or something where you're just like, whoa, like, this is not an ayahuasca trip. It may be, but this is something that is a learned knowledge or a learned wisdom or an actual study of something. I think it's more rigorous, and it's a knowledge that it's not just a kind of inward journey. I don't think it's like it's learning about a school of thought or a branch of science or a way to look at the world or a metaphysical thing, that it's like there's a whole school of study here, I think, or a whole school of learning, or a whole perspective, or a whole philosophy, a whole philosophical paradigm that is meant for you. With the Garden of Eden here, it's not a trip. This is like an shattering, like earth-changing understanding of the world that reshapes the world itself, the world around you. It's not just for your own development or your own soul growth. I think you're a figure here who is meant to communicate it to others. I don't think you're, to be honest, I don't even know if you're looking for healing or needing healing, although I'm sure that that will come in the path. It's more that like you're like a channel of knowledge or wisdom. But I think you have to take it seriously. That's just the feeling I get. It's not gonna mean anything unless you share it with people and maybe teach others. But right now, yeah, you don't know what's real. And you're not sure where to step next. But you're ready. I think you're ready. Yep. For your Ask an Angel guidebook oracle card, you got Passion, which seems very fitting. Passion is the flame that lights the soul. It keeps us warm, connected, invigorated, and alive. It awakens within us a desire and drive. A desire for knowledge, love, travel, expansion, expression, and change. It drives us forward and awakens in us the need to truly experience life. Yes, it's an awakening energy that you're going through. If I didn't say that before, awakening energy, new life. This is like Plato's cave stuff. This is the territory we're in here. Like fire, passion comes with the danger of burning out of control and wreaking havoc on our insides as well as our outsides. It also comes with the danger of burning out. So just beware of the passion you feel like it's. When nurtured and cared for, fire has the power to bring life, light, and warmth into our lives, and so does passion. When we surrender our ego, I think that's critical for you. That's what I'm talking about when I say you need to be able to like digest this knowledge and communicate it to others. This isn't about you. Don't start thinking you're the smartest person that ever was. You may know a lot. You may know things other people don't. You gotta leave your ego at the door though. And you gotta surrender. When we surrender our ego and personal will up to something higher, the power, energy, and ecstasy of the divine is given room to move within us. We are filled with the all-consuming essence of love and the overwhelming ecstasy that occurs when the barriers of the ego dissolve and we experience unification. It is from this state that we have a deeper and higher experience of passion. This is the passion that ignites and inspires love. This is the passion that drives and inspires us to do great things. This is the passion that awakens our sense of purpose. Our passions have the power to teach us about who we are. Each of us is innately and often unconsciously passionate about specific things that relate to our life purpose and what we need to express and understand in our lives. Scientists, artists, priests, doctors, and activists are among the countless roles that are birthed from this passion and desire. Passion teaches us about what our calling is. Even more, it ignites within us the desire to fulfill our calling. This is a time for you to allow a sense of This is a time for you to allow a higher sense of passion and purpose to fill your heart. For the light of that flame to illuminate the path ahead, leading you to new adventures in your life. This is a time to surrender your personal will to the higher will of God, allowing a true sense of purpose to fill you. This is a time to release the ego, allowing a sense of oneness to permeate your being and let the power and passion of love to move within you. This is a time to be passionate, courageous, and inspired. Take a leap of faith and let the light of passion guide you. I was just thinking, when Eve eats of the apple, is she really disobeying God? Is she really not doing God's will? Or did this set in motion the course of events of the history of humanity, through which we become like maybe even closer to God through the separation from Him, and thus the desire to like come back. And so being, it's almost an analogy of being born. You cannot go back into that womb. You can't go back into the pre-born state. But is it so far from God? I mean, the meaning of life in a way is to become individuated, to be free, to have free will, to create our own realities. And well, I don't mean it like that. I don't like that expression, actually. I guess there's just a sense that God wants us to discover and become and be ourselves. And He wants us to grow. But it may feel like you've done something wrong when you go into this place where nothing is ever the same. And you may want to go back, When Adam and Eve ate of the apple, they became human because they developed self-consciousness and like self-awareness, knowledge of self, which is it's like another fractal of God consciousness. I don't know. Sorry, just some thoughts I guess I had. Off the cuff. You may wrestle with morality, like what is right and wrong. What's the right choice? What's the ethical choice? What's the good choice? But there's, for some reason, when you're on the right path, you do know the truth. And it's not, it does feel clear for you. I don't think you feel confused about it. Okay, well that was a really interesting reading, Pile 5. Obviously, I would love to know you and know how you feel about that in the comments. Would really appreciate feedback. I wish you the very best. Good luck on your adventure. Bye.